Hey Ruth,
Yes, darling.
there was a blue jay right on the window.
Oh,
I
I
mean, a
know.
blue bird.
Yeah, I get it like smack, and then yeah, they've been doing that a few days now. Today, I
He
was
was
like,
standing on the screen looking at me.
yeah. That is really upsetting.
The only trade I've taken so far today is on GLD. SPY right at the pivot point. Q's pretty close to the pivot point. And IWM uh, much stronger than the SPY than the Q's right now. It is green. SPY is actually red now by just 10 cents. But really, basically, the SPY is completely almost unchanged for the day. Q's it down a little bit, about 0.3%. Nvidia is still down 4.5% today, 4% today. Nvidia has really been getting clobbered here lately. This is the Nvidia chart here, which is basically a horror show. This was the earnings over here, and it's just been chopping around ever since. And this big flush down here, of course, and now this was a big flush last Friday on the AI news, and has not recovered at all. AMD, Moderna right here, bouncing up off the 8. Some resistance right there, kind of choppy. Coin one that was called out this morning. Yeah, the coin is very strong today. Uh, this is basically the same area we traded it as a debit spread last week, um, right in here. I think we took a 300, 310, and you see it's still right in that same range. We took it, we got out here on Friday. Luckily, it moved up. We took profits, and then it pulled right back again. It's a tricky stock to trade. Any crypto stocks are very tricky. They're news sensitive. They're also very volatile. And GoDaddy, Ali. Yeah, GoDaddy. I mean, I still like GoDaddy for a long here, but it's putting in a red candle today off of a doji sandwich setup that did not complete or didn't. It started to look like it was going to move in that direction, but it has not. But it's still very nice and bullish. AXSM, Ari, running up in anticipation of an FDA approval deadline this evening. Okay, maybe potential intraday with the run up. Spreads wide as per usual. Looks like all time high. You've got stock calls and bull calls. You loaded up on AXSM. All right. Yeah, nice move in AXSM today too. This actually a pretty decent bullish chart right here now on this the recent price action. Okay, with these FDAs, you never know. Well, a lot of times they'll, as he says, they're running up in anticipation. That's a nice move on this thing though. Started right here in this nice break of the algo line. Yeah, nice look on AXSM. Again, tough to take calls, I suspect. Let me look. Yeah, the monthlies too. Yeah, the yeah, the option prices are not terrible. Well, some of them are, but um, the further you get into the money, the wider they get. But the 105 calls are $7 by 770, expiring February 21st. That isn't a terrible spread, but it's only got $3 of intrinsic value in it. But that would be a reasonable one to take. And the 100s on AXSM again is trading at 108. They're 10 by $11. They've got $8 of intrinsic value with no expiration for 3 weeks, a little more than 3 weeks. That's not bad at all either. But again, it's got an FDA a notice that's coming out suspected that today. So that's really not a lot of volatility in there. It's not a lot of volatility at all. Runs an ATR of about $4 on AXSM. If you intraday trade it, you got to have to use monthly options though, because there isn't any, there is no weeklies. But the spreads are, it's close to $1 spread on them, so you got to get a fairly consistent move to the upside on it today to be able to take a day trade on it if you want to get out before this announcement tonight, or at least the anticipated one. Q's coming in some more. SPY, not quite so much, just below the pivot point here. Very, very, very choppy action. Tesla again looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here. GoDaddy still kind of weak. GLD putting in a red candle, but pretty strong. Again, I don't feel real comfortable taking a lot more trades here until we see what this market does.
Seeing some of the July 10 call activity on and by the offer. That's on DNUT Krispy Kreme.
All right, so we're just kind of watching the market here. We have these gold calls right now. Just trying to get a $50 a contract out of those. Qs, I'm trying to basically break even if we pull down a little bit more today. Trading at 518 right now, a little 518.40 or so, 518.60. Again, we got 522s, so to get break even on this thing, we need a $7.50 move to below that or above it. But it looks like below it would be the way we're going to go. So you're talking about around 515 or so. So we still got a ways to follow on the Qs. It's also coming up on the 50-day moving average right now. Fairly big pullback in Meta after that nice gap up here today. Tesla gapped up as well and then pulled down pretty hard. Microsoft just gapped down and just moving sideways. IBM had good earnings. They're up and they're holding up pretty good. Again, the only thing I've taken right now is gold. I'm in gold long, PLD. And I'm watching GoDaddy, but I gotta see better price action than this to touch that one. Do I think gold's a bit gappy? Yes, that's an understatement. It's extremely gappy, which is why I said I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to only take this as an intraday trade. I don't really want to hold this thing overnight because of the gaps. It's really gappy. Um, Last time it gapped up to an all-time high. It gapped way down the next day, and then gapped up, and then did flat, and then a big gap up this morning. So it's very gappy, which is why I said intraday trade on this thing. I'm not going to really try to swing this thing. It's just there's too many gaps in this thing. This is a pretty big gap this morning. So again, it's a little extended from the 8. So I just intraday trading it off of this price action right here. Joseph, can I show the Q 5-minute chart? Yeah, sure. It is right there. Q's bouncing up to the pivot point here, with the VWAP just above, but still red here on this. This will turn to blue if it moves above 20. Again, I'm not touching any of these SPY super systems right now. I don't see that there's been much momentum one way or the other here. Gold pull back. T2104 still bullish. Urban up a little bit today, up about a little over 2%. URBN. CRNC down just 9 cents.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much watching here. I did take gold, GLD, for an intraday trade. Going to try to trade this on just on an intraday basis. We'll see what happens. It's pulled down a little bit, but still above the VWAP. Don't need a big, huge move up in this thing to take profits, but it has pulled back now. So getting in about 350. It was up to about 375, close to 380, but now it's pulled back. Ari pointing out spot with relative strength, all-time high. Spotify. Yep, coming out of a compression right now on the 5-minute. Yeah, nice move in Spotify. A little stretched to chase here. There's the 5-minute chart right here, but it is trying to break out of compression. And you see on the 5-minute chart, it's coming right along. This is the VWAP right here, this yellow line. This is the 8 right here. But yeah, nice little move in this stock. Daily chart, really nice. Just a little to me, a little steep. You look at by the way, the T2104, which I use on the 5-minute chart basis, but this is a daily chart, and it's pretty interesting that you can see the PBO here on it. That's really not. I mean, this is cumulative volume indexes. This don't usually follow it like that, but you can see this breakdown here. If we go to Fibonacci candles on the 5-minute, you can see we've had nice moves here. But if I switch over to the daily on Fibonacci, See this Heikenite reversal here, and then across we're getting a reversal right here right now. Not blue, but still a reversal. Interesting. I mean, that's just it. Just interesting. It's this is what I actually follow. See the Q SPY coming down, T2104 going up. That's a bullish divergence right now. A lot of it has to do with the IWM being stronger than the other indexes today. Gold pulling back down toward the VWAP now. Again, gold seems to be stronger when the market's pulling down a little bit. All right, just gonna look for some stocks. Be back in just a minute. How's it going, Ruthie? Yeah. Got half an hour to go, and you can wrap it up. What time did you eat today? One. Wow. One thing right to another. Look out, the wind was perfect.
desk. Uber and Lyft face antitrust probe over New York City driver pay agreement. That's on UBER and LYFT.
All right, came back here just to see the market not doing too much here. This gold starting to bounce a little bit more. SPY bouncing up a little bit.
See a little volume pop. Trump says that regarding the airline crash, this one, the pilot problem from the standpoint of helicopter. On AAL, seeing a little pop on the name.
Tesla back above the 50-day moving average. Pulled down hard this morning after a big gap up. And now I try to recover here. Q's also bouncing up. Not doing our straddle any good. IWM just gapped up pretty flat here on the IWM. It is green up one, it's just strongest index. Now the Qs have gone green again, and the SPY also is slightly green. All right, see if we got any questions here. Joe, IWM plus 20 cents, yes. CHOP still slight bullish outlook. Yeah, it's definitely the strongest index, but it's really pretty flat here right now. This is SPY coming up right toward the VWAP now. It's above the 15. And the Qs fairly similar, just above the 15, just below the VWAP. Kind of trapped in a range here. You can't really trade it on the SPY super system here when you're below the VWAP and above the 15 like that. You're just trapped in a wedge. Gold bounced right off the VWAP. Terry, how much longer will I give the Qs? I had VOLD in positive territory heading up, tick chart positive territory. Yeah, that all looks good. Qs bouncing. I'm going to give it a little bit of time and see if we get any kind of a move today. It's moving. It's pretty close to our strike price right now at 522. So, I mean, if I take it off now, I'm probably going to, it's going to obviously take a loss. And if I get a move one way or the other here, if it happens, before around 2 o'clock or so, we would mitigate the loss on it if it's moving above 522 or down below 522. Right now it's 521.39, so pretty close to our strike price. So I'm gonna hold it for a bit. If you want to dump the thing, you can dump it anytime you want to. Obviously, it's right now that spread's going for 310. We paid like $7.50 for it or so. So we're down decently on it. I mean, you could obviously try to leg out of it, but that's going to be kind of tricky because I don't know which way the market's going to go here. So I'm still going to watch it for a bit. But again, if you're antsy about it, I'd have no problem with it bailing on the thing.
Yes, my name's Ruth with the Wind Project, and if you'd like to speak to the manager on duty, I have a video cabinet, a large video cabinet in the entryway. If you like to speak. Thank you.
A 11:45 here right now. Pretty lackluster action here in the market. A lot of the earnings come out last night. It was generally expected to have much more of an impact on the market price action than we're getting here. We're getting very, very little action. in the market right now. SPY trying to bounce up. Q's also trying to bounce up to the VWAP. IWM back above the VWAP right now. Again, it's the strongest index, but it hasn't. Most all of this is in the gap where all these gains are concerned. We did take gold. I'm waiting to see if we can get a bounce in gold. It's just moving sideways here. It needs to move up a bit, probably about $1 for us to get profits in this.
Oh, okay, great. Were they on when you went out there? Okay, right. Well, that's very helpful. I appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time. Have a good day. You too. Bye-bye.
Jeff, you surprised that up-down volume on the NASDAQ is positive today? Yeah, I'm just following the T2104, which is all volume. Definitely bullish today. A lot of the volume today, again, came off the earnings. Tesla had a big gap up. Now it's bounced down below the 50. Now it's back up above it had been. Microsoft pulled down and pretty much staying right down. IBM, another big one that reported, gapped up and staying up pretty nicely. And Meta was another one that gapped up pretty strong this morning and then pulled back pretty hard. Right here is the pivot point, and now it's trying to bounce again. Very, this is not a directional market here right now. Am I willing to hold gold overnight, Joe? I prefer not to. I prefer not to because of the gaps. Could it gap up again tomorrow? Yeah, of course it could, but this thing is really gappy, and generally it doesn't gap. Sometimes it'll gap up in the same direction twice, but if you look at the daily chart on this thing, and just take a look at what your gaps look like. We had a gap up here, gap up with 3 nice gap ups here. These were nice gaps here. but a lot of times you'll get a gap up and a gap down. See this gap up and a gap down, a gap up, and this was 2 gap ups in a row. So, you know, you just don't know. It's very, 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 very risky. Um, I haven't decided yet. I'm still seeing if we can take profits in it today. I won't decide on that till later on in the day, because I'm out to the 13th, to the 3rd of February next week. You know, I have the ability to stay in it if I think gold's going to keep going up, but who knows? Sorry about that. Isaac, do I like Cisco long here? Cisco. Well, sort of. Just some of these charts are just so difficult. This Friday thing last Friday was really kind of skewed everything up. This Cisco was in a beautiful uptrend here, and then just get clobbered right back to the 50 moving up. So yeah, I like it. You'd like to see it get above the top of this candle right here and into this gap. But you know, it's definitely bullish now. But it's pretty messed up with that big Friday pullback. So it's a decent long though. Obviously, I wouldn't short it for sure, but. Triple Q's creeping up toward the VWAP. See how questions in YouTube. No, got a lot of folks watching the YouTube, but no questions. Anybody in YouTube, if you want any questions, just go ahead and post them in the chat there. I'd be happy to answer them. Again, this is our SPY super system here, the Compass software. Here is our current time frame momentum, which is what we focus on for our SPY super system intraday trades on the Qs, the IWM, and the SPY. Blue and green is long, bullish. Red and yellow is bearish. We're definitely getting bullishness in the Qs here right now. But it's got to get above that VWAP. I suspect SPY is very similar. Yes, it is.
HPE, DOJ sues to stop HPE's deal to buy Juniper. Seeing the volume downtick in HPE and JNPR.
There's a Heikenhachi on the SPY here. You get the reversal right here, but you can't take it there. You got this VWAP right there. So now we get some flat bottom candles here, and we're getting some positive price action on the SPY. But will it continue? Momentum indicator is pretty strong here right now.
See continued weakness in HPE breaking to lows of the day.
Hewlett Packard dropping down. HPE. The Juniper deal looks like it's not going to happen. Juniper also dropping like a rock. pretty big drop in Juniper and HPE. There's JNPR right there. HPE right there. Q's getting through the VWAP now. SPY trying to get through it. I like the Qs better than the SPY. The SPY is running right up and against a resistance here now. Qs look pretty decent. Qs could just ease through the VWAP. See if they continue here or not. VWAP is sitting right on it. SPY also just kind of just slightly above it. And gold's just moving along the VWAP too. Very, very flat action here in the market right now. There's your SPY up 35.35%. Triple Qs up just 1.7, so pretty $1.70, about 0.33%. Decent move in the market here, coming off the low, but very, very tentative. IWM just moving sideways. SPY with some resistance at 603.91, so 603.97, so that's pretty close here. Just went through it. Q's moving up here. This is a SPY super system trade on the Qs right here. As we break through the VWAP, we got green. This looks pretty decent. Will it continue? Who has any idea? I don't know, but this is a decent setup for a long on the Qs right here. I took some Q calls. Again, I'm still along the Q calls here. Took them when I get in here. I got the took tomorrow's calls, the 131 calls in the Qs, 522s, right at the money. I paid 328 for them. They're 356 right now. Any hesitation here, and I'm going to get out. I just don't feel like we're getting exactly a trending market here right now. Again, I took SPY Qs here right as it broke through the VWAP on green. Again, in the tomorrow's calls, 131 calls, 522s, paid 328 for them. I'm probably going to take them off here at 358. All right, I got 358 for them just a few seconds ago. So I'm out for 350, out for $30 a contract on those. Could keep going, but I just don't have any conviction in this market right now. So that was the first SPY Super System trade that I've taken today. And the only other thing I've taken is gold, which is coming down. A lot of times when the market goes up, gold will come down a little bit, but I'm still going to hold on to gold right now. Yeah, I'm out of the Qs, $30 a contract profit. Hi, Suzanne. You- Welcome. You're watching it. It's Greek to you. Well, what we're talking about here is a SPY Super System trade, and again, if you look at the video on it, it goes into some detail. This is what we're using, the current time frame momentum. This is blue and green is bullish, red and yellow is bearish, and what we're looking for is a break above or below either the VWAP or the 15 EMA, the pink line or the green line right here. That's at 15. I use the pink line here. I bought it as it broke through here, and I sold it on this one candle. I get in for 338 a contract. 328 a contract, and I get out for 358. So I made $30 a contract on this move. But this is a this whole move today is very tentative. You can't look for continuations for very long just because it's the market's just chopping. We had the Fed day yesterday. We had choppy markets. Tough. Last few days have been this last couple, about 6 weeks, have been very difficult for swing trading, and even the last couple days difficult for intraday trading. So we'll see what happens here. But again, I'm out of the Qs. I took profits in it. Quick trade. Obviously, I can't post those, but I did point out that it was a setup. Qs right back to the VWAP again. SPY also. IWM pulling in. Now all of a sudden it's weak compared to the rest of the market. Well, after 12 o'clock. very little in any of these trades right now as far as move is concerned. Just very close to the VWAP. I'm going to stop here in about 5 minutes and get some lunch. Only trade I've had so far was that I took was the Qs. SPY Super System trade here. This was good for about $30 a contract. You had to be really, really quick on this thing. Again, I don't trust this market. And I'm still long gold, which is come back below the VWAP right now. We'll see where it goes. Again, I'm going to give it a little bit of room to talk. Again, this is an all-time high on gold today. Again, very difficult market to try to find any swing trades. It just, as I've shown this a few times here. All right, let's take a look at the SPY daily chart. So this is the SPY daily chart right here. All right, so this was the last Fed meeting. This was yesterday's Fed meeting. This is what we've done since this Fed meeting. This is the pattern we've got. We had a decent move up here, but then it just fell apart. This is really risky for swing trading. Really, really risky. You know, this is much better. This was much better. This was much better. This was much better. Even this was much better to the downside. This is just really very, very difficult to trade swing trades right here. I mean, staying in cash and doing intraday trades is probably the smartest thing to do right now. I mean, I have a couple of swing trades on. We have Urban on right here, which is, again, as long as it holds over that algo line, I'm okay with it. It's moved up today a little bit, about 2.3%. CRNC, which isn't doing much, but it is holding up right around the 8 or the 15. Other than that, we don't have much on, and with good reason. I don't want to carry a lot of swing trades right now, and I know folks that are like on the alert service are looking for trades. And we haven't really have very many. We have very, very few. We took TXN, a time spread that failed, but we did take the TXN puts to mitigate that and made some nice money on that one. This was a very speculative trade on the Qs last night, looking for a significant move in the market off of all those earnings, and we didn't get it. We just got much of anything. The Boeing weekly time spread, the Bank of America weekly time spread is pretty nice right now. Again, we're just planning on selling puts on this thing week after week after week. That's all we got. Again, as far as these codes are concerned, next to the trades, I've just added this yesterday. RA would be a trade that we have in the room and I alert on. Just an R would be just in the room. And the SPY Super System trades, of course, I cannot post, and I can't, obviously, I can't alert on those things. I'm still holding my Q straddle venue, but it's very, very problematic right now because it keeps trading around 522, which is a strike price, which is the last place you want it to be. So it's bleeding premium right all the time. So the question is, do you want to go ahead and just take the loss now? If it stays around 522, the loss will become bigger. If the market either moves up or moves down this afternoon from where it is right now, it'll mitigate the losses. So, but will the mitigation be enough to offset the time spread? It just depends on how fast it moves. But I would have no problem just taking it off right now. I'm taking the loss on the thing. It's like 278 right now. So if you want to take it off, again, a very speculative trade, as I mentioned. If you want to exit this, you can exit this. I'll just put it in here. It's right now going for about 280. Let's take the sell order for 280. You can go ahead and do that. I may or may not. I don't know what it's a very small position for me, so I'm just gonna kind of let it meander. But you can go ahead and put a sell order in for 280 for that, and take the loss. Because as long as it hangs around 522, that's going to get bigger, because you're right at the money with your strike, which means it's both the put and the call are just going to bleed time to gate. So I'm gonna call this out at 280, and I'll take the loss on this thing for the record. Terrible price action here, just terrible. There's really terrible price action in the market here. Is the Q's coming back down below the VWAP here now? Again, I'm calling this trade out at 280 on the Q's straddle. You can't really even leg out of it because who has any idea which way this thing is going to go? Oh, 12:15 here, just pretty close to 12:15 again, and getting pretty close to lunchtime for me. Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, I thank you very much. I appreciate that. Terrible day for trading, though, Jonathan. Terrible day for trading. I had one SPY super system trading the Qs right here. I was in here as it broke, got out right here. $30 a contract. Now it's pulling back again, which, by the way, is going to increase the price on your right now. The price on the straddle will be going up. But I'm calling it out at the 280. It's right now at 290. I don't know that we're going to get any kind of a major move, so just as soon get rid of it. Otherwise, anything around 522 is just going to bleed time all day, all afternoon.
On TZUP, doubles Bitcoin investment to 2 million with additional purchase. That's on the TZUP.
Again, this is really horrible price action. Absolutely horrible. Pull back a little bit, just below the VWAP. See if we can get any kind of a move up this afternoon. Okay, I'm going to stop and get something to eat. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and shut the YouTube feed down. Thank you very much. Jonathan, when LPTE, low probability trading environment, happens in the market, do I ever just take the remainder of the day off and not trade at all? I mean, days I won't trade at all. Very rarely do I at least usually try to take some trades. Again, I'm moderating a room here, so there always are opportunities, but they're fairly minimal on an LPTE day. And a lot of times I won't take any trades. I forget what I took yesterday, but it was maybe one or two trades. It was very, very small of what I did yesterday. I took some NNE stock yesterday. A couple times I traded NNE, made some money off of that, and I did a Roblex. That's it. I didn't do much of anything yesterday. Today's another one. All I've done today so far is I took a SPY super system in the Qs right here, made money. Now it's pulled back again, and I went long GLD. I'm long GLD, which is pulled back since I got in. That's it. But I am going to take a lunch, so I'll be back in a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and shut down the YouTube feed. Thanks very much, folks, in YouTube. Thanks everybody for coming in today and watching the room. Appreciate it. Jonathan, you found that patience is one of the most important part of becoming a profitable trader. Discipline and patience are the two keys. You've got to have discipline, which means only to trade your strategies or methodologies that you know are going to work. You know that they're going to work 80% of the time or more, and you wait for them. And then patience, waiting for the setups. That's the hardest thing for most traders to do. Biggest problem most retail traders have, and that they lose money, is they overtrade and they don't have patience. They'll chase, and this fear of missing out takes over, and they just can't help themselves, and they end up either blowing up their accounts or getting disgusted and just leaving. So that's why overtrading is a big problem, and why I have patience is one of the big keys to being successful. Thanks for pointing it out. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. All right, everybody, I'm going to close down.